Sippers, welcome to this episode of the Tea With Me podcast with me, Shane Todd. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of this episode, allow me to address a few things. Number one, the Patreon is blowing up. All steam ahead. Toot toot. We're going to the station of 3,000. We're trying to get 3,000 patrons. We've got loads of extra content on there. We do the bonus episode once a week, do a live stream on a Friday. Pre-sale tickets like the SSA Arena show, links for that's in the bio. That's just about to sell out. Patreon.com. If you like the podcast, you want to see more, that's where you go. Also, I've added a load more tour dates, including an extra show at Millennium Forum in Derry, which blows my mind and which I'm very excited about. Plus about 6 new shows at the Opera House. theshanetodd.com if you want to get tickets for that. Not till later this year, but get them if you're going. We are joined today by a returning guest, and this was a fun episode, but before we get into it, we are sponsored by none other than NordVPN. What is a VPN? You know by now, it's a virtual private network, a service that protects and perfects, a lot would say, your internet connection and your privacy online, and that's where a lot of internet connections are. It protects your online identity by hiding your IP address. What? That's me looking for your IP address. I can't see it. It allows you to use public Wi-Fi spots safely. Like I was genuinely this week trying to upload a clip for the podcast, and I text Mike and said, they've removed all of our podcasts. And I don't mean then like a Kanye West way, I just mean YouTube. And then he replied to me and said, are you using public Wi-Fi? I said yes. He said, get NordVPN. That's a true story. It gives you an encrypted tunnel for online traffic to flow. And you know I love tunnels. You can access content from anywhere. You don't miss your favourite content from home when you're travelling abroad. And it works across Mac, Windows, iOS, all that kind of stuff. You can get an exclusive NordVPN deal at nordvpn.com/teawithme. It's in the description. You get a big discount off your NordVPN plan and a bonus gift. Who doesn't love bonus gifts? It's risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. We're also sponsored by those cheeky wee ball guys over at Manscaped. Manscaped is landscaping for your genitals. And that's what they started as. When they came on board, Manscaped were only interested in your balls, dick, and anything in between. Nowadays, they're branching into everything. They're doing face stuff. They're doing creams, aftershave, everything you need, beard stuff. Mike's over there doing that to his beard, giving his beard a wee rub. I can't do that because I'm 34 and I don't have enough testosterone. I can't do that. There's just no beard there. And it makes me sad. There you go. And I don't think I'm a real boy. Anyway, I'm a real boy. I'm just not a real man. Anyway, don't worry about that. Worry about going to manscaped.com using the code TEAWITHME for 20% off and free shipping. They have genuinely anything you can think of when it comes to grooming. Great for gifts. Great for going traveling. Like I'm just about to go on a trip to America. I'll bring my Manscaped with me. Because at 30,000 feet, I like to join the... Can't think of a thing. I like to shave my pubes in the toilet of a plane. You know, there you go. Oh, it's a giddy Friday. I haven't got a lot of sleep because my son refuses to sleep, which is great banter. I haven't slept in 5 months. My guest is not only one of the best comedians working anywhere today, he's at the top of the podcast game too. He's been on before. His name's Adam Rowe. He comes from Liverpool, the People's Republic of Liverpool. I've been on his podcast. I've loved it. I love just having any sort of chat with this guy. He's great. He's doing some gigs in Dublin. We were chatting. We're like, listen, if you're in Dublin, you may as well come back down to Hollywood. We just had some chicken and waffles with him. But before we did that, we recorded a great episode of this podcast. He's got a special out called Imperious, which he's put out on YouTube because he's a lovely man. Could have charged you for it. He put up a wee paywall and then he just demolished it and he said, here, just walk through that. Could have made you climb over it, but he didn't. He's also got another special coming out called Juicy. Basically, this guy is into the specials, and I don't mean the band. He is our friend Adam Rowe. Please enjoy episode 200. Woo! So enthusiastic. See, because it's just me and you here today, Mike. That was sad. Tea With Me podcast with Adam Rowe. You just told me one of your biggest fears in life is getting your head shaved when you're drunk. Do you not feel like we're at the age where we're past that fear?
No, you don't know the lads I went to school with. Like, I don't know whether there's a term for it. Have you not got people in your life who, when you see them, you just revert to who you were when you used to hang out with them all the time?
If anyone in my friendship group, the people on the podcast, would know who's going to shave my head, it'd be Paddy McDonald.
See, no comedians that I know of would do that.
Right.
But the lads I went to school with, like, one of them is like the executive director of a civil engineering firm based in the Liver buildings in Liverpool.
Right.
Like, he runs one of the most important companies in structural engineering and civil engineering in the whole of England. And he would shave my head.
Right. Yeah.
Like, the lads I went to school with are so unbelievably... But like, when we get together, like, I know what he's like in meetings. I also know what he's like when it's just me and him. But when the group of the lads who went to school together get back together, we're all just like arseholes again. It's like we're in year 8.
But why are you lads still having sleepovers?
How else are you meant to suck each other's dicks?
How good? No, not that. How good would a sleepover be again? I mean, Airbnb, sleepovers, stay up late. I love going to sleepovers, hated hosting them.
Well, we're going... The podcast team we've got for Have a Word, we're going to Nashville for a week and we're staying in a house. So we've hired like a Big Brother. We're going to do like our own Nashville Big Brother Have a Word. Right. Rootin' tootin', getting a cowboy hat made to my fucking massive head, boots, the lot. That's going to be that's sleepover vibes, isn't it?
Yeah,
we're all in the same house.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people have got to stay on the couches because there isn't enough bedrooms for the entire production team. I mean, I'm having the biggest bedroom.
Yeah.
You know?
We chatted before. The reason that couldn't work for me, I know I'm not invited, but that couldn't work for me is because I go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that kills the vibe in Nashville.
I often don't go out until after 10 o'clock.
See, my policy is first one in the club, first one out.
You just go and make sure everything's working. That's your nightclub. That's your club and lifestyle. It's just fucking lights are on. Yeah, but you've got the Guinness pump ready. Okay, I'm off. Have a good night, everyone.
Just have
don't
one.
Even work there.
One Jaeger bomb because I'm driving. That'd be a move, wouldn't it?
What?
Just have a one. I'm driving.
The first man in history to ever have a Jaeger bomb has just one. I've got time for one, haven't I? Can I have a Jaeger bomb, please, love? I'm going to sleep in an hour, so that drink with Red Bull in, if you don't mind.
When did you do the podcast last? Was it about a year ago?
May. I was over to do me Belfast and Dublin.
That's right.
Tour dates.
Had you done the was that the day of the show?
Yeah, I was going off to do Limelight, yeah.
How'd you find that?
It was great. There was a fella on the front row though who anyone who was at the show would have met. So I had a bit. I don't change the set I do for anywhere I'm going. Like, I'll do crowd work and local stuff at the top.
Yeah.
But then the show is the show. And I don't even think about it, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I had a bit towards the end of the show. It ended up coming out of the special as well because it was too similar to another bit another comic had done years ago, and someone was like, do you know that's similar to Tom Stade's bit, actually?
Right.
And then I looked at Tom Stade's bit and I was like, it's too similar, I just need to fuck it off. Even though when you haven't seen it, you can't be held responsible. But
yeah,
like,
yeah, of course.
It's just a similar thing.
Yeah.
And it was about racism. And I just had a line sort of contextualising the joke and the setup and the punchline. And I went, I hope no one in this crowd tonight, like me, considers himself a racist. And a guy on the front row just went, does this guy know where he is? And I went, what, are you saying that you're racist? And I'd already spoke to this guy, and his missus had left in the interval after the support act.
Not a good sign, yeah.
And I went, so are you racist? And he went, sectarian.
You know,
and I had absolutely no idea. And do you know, I made such a really fucking big and stupid mistake as well. Because do you know when you're in that moment on stage? Like, I like to think anything can be thrown at me on stage and I can deal with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I just got confused. Because I know what sectarianism is and I know about all the politics behind it.
Yeah.
And I went, in my head, I was like, oh, you want Northern Irish independence? I thought that's what he meant. Right. So then I did 2 minutes of jokes.
Nobody wants.
Yeah. But I did 2 minutes of jokes about that whilst a full Limelight were going, eh? What?
Do you know why? Because it's never been floated. People are either going, United.
That's what I thought this guy. I was like, what, you want to, here's why that one went, and here's, yeah, you do what you want. And I come off, and Joe, the promoter, comes backstage, and he's like, this is what he meant. Right, yeah. And he also referenced something else that I won't go into, that you might even, by me saying that, know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that, and obviously I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
And this was literally with a minute and 90 seconds of the show to go. Like, it was done, and then this happened.
You want someone to come out of Sectarian early doors.
I was just, like, the show had gone great. I'm like, I'm going to fucking land this and be like, da! Like an Olympian dancing into the corner, landing on 2 feet, and I just fell over.
Yeah.
The audience were great, and I stayed around and did, like, selfies. We had a few drinks. We went to a pub called the...
Duke of York?
What? No, it's around the corner, and it's got live music on. It's quite a big pub. It's going to do me head in. I can't remember.
5 points?
The Points.
5 points, yep. Oh, the points, yeah, they dropped the points. It used to be 5 points.
The Points.
And
it was excellent. There were so many people from the show there, but they were like, this is what I like about Belfast, and like cities like Belfast, Glasgow,
Newcastle.
Liverpool. Yeah, is your fans there are like, we love you, and can we have a quick picture? And do you want a drink? Yeah. And then they will fucking leave you alone.
Yeah.
Like, there's some places where, like...
Where?
Posh places.
London.
Even London. Like, if you do central London, it's not posh, is it? Like, the outskirts of London's posh, but inner city...
Leamington Spa?
Yeah.
I don't know what that
Leighton is. Buzzard. Which sounds like a breed of bird,
I thought he played for Everton. No.
Leighton Buzzard is a place. It sounds like a rare bird, doesn't it? Like a flightless bird.
What goes on in Leighton Buzzard?
I've never stopped, Shane. I actually close my eyes when the train stops there because I don't want to see, because it sounds too weird. Like, I can't believe when Leighton Buzzard, when they stop there, I'm like, this isn't real. I don't want to look out the windows because I feel like I'm on a show.
Yeah.
Cambridge can go fuck itself. Surrey. Like, though, if you go out after that, they will sit with you and they're like, well, this poor cunt, he's down in Cambridge.
Right.
And he's lucky to have our company, if anything. So we're going to stay with him all the live long fucking day.
Yeah.
If you go to a city where it's working class people, they're like, yeah, I have a picture with him and then fucking leave the lad alone. So we're in the Points, and there's maybe 150 people who were at the show in the venue. But they'd done the, yeah, you're all right, thanks for the great show, really enjoyed it, come and see it again next year. And then we just sat in the corner, a big, like, 12 of us, like the team we had with us, and just drank so many pints of Guinness with proper live Irish music on. And it was probably my favourite... I mean, there's no need for me to say this, but I'm going to say it. Belfast wasn't my favourite show of the tour. It was good.
Yep.
But, it was stained somewhat.
By my dad.
By your dad, fella, yeah. But I think it was the best post-show beer of the whole tour.
Right.
By a distance, actually.
See, I don't always... This will shock you. I don't always go out for a drink after shows on tour.
Only when you're doing matinees.
But when I do... When I do, I really enjoy it. I'll wait. If it was a good gig, if the atmosphere's right, I go, we're having a drink after the show. And the last time I did that was Chicago, and it was brilliant. Went for one in the stayed for one in the venue, one in a bar nearby. And then I was done. But
that's you having a drink after the show.
Yeah.
If I'm not drinking at a show, I'll have 6 pints accidentally. If I have 6 Guinness and I get home to my girlfriend and she's like, "You're right, that was the show. Thought you'd have a pint after." I was like, "Oh, I wasn't drinking today."
Yeah. Well, you were doing shows in Dublin this weekend, and you get in them. I picked you up there, touch class for me, and I said, I said, you can believe you were like, he'll send someone. No. But you were in Dublin last night, and I went, "Oh, you doing a show last night?" And you went, No, I just arrived in Dublin last night, but wasn't doing a show." And then I started thinking, I went, "But I saw your Instagram story and you were drinking last night."
Yeah. I only have 4 pints though.
Jesus Christ. I couldn't have done the podcast today if I had 4 pints last night.
Do you know what? I was more drunk off those 4 pints than I should have been.
Sometimes that's the way it is. You have 2 and you're like...
Like, I'm a Guinness drinker, so you can't go to Dublin and not have any on any day that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I landed last night, I put my bag in and I went straight to a pub that I know that I'd like, a little quiet one. I'd one in there. Went and got myself a nice fancy dinner on my own, 3 courses.
No, here's it. I'll do a dinner on my own, but it's 1 course.
No, No, I went to a place called the Winding Staircase, or the Winding Stairs, and it's like a fancy little, like the menu. Like 3 years ago, this menu would have made me leave,
Right.
but I've expanded my food horizons in the past 3
You've
years.
expanded your palate.
Yeah.
Now, can I say the Winding Staircase? If it sounds like Leamington Buzzard sounds like a TV detective, and it sounds like the spin-off movie would be called Leighton Buzzard and the Winding Staircase.
yeah. It
And
was
the
great.
opening credits, he just keeps running around it.
There's just a sandwich board outside that says "Follow the winding stairs to the dinner of your dreams."
Really?
I made that last bit up.
Oh, okay. Now, but you're saying you're expanding your palate. So I'm not interested in ever expanding my palate.
Yeah.
I can tolerate Nando's, and that's where it starts and ends. Now, will you eat fancier food now?
Yeah.
And if so, what's one thing you've really got a taste for?
Seafood.
Right.
So when I was with my ex-girlfriend, we started going to like Michelin-starred restaurants as like every 3-4 months. As like if we got like big good news and we were on a trip away somewhere, we're going to this fucking ridiculous restaurant. And you have like 8 courses, but they're all the size of your bollocks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
Here you'd be filled.
size of my bollocks. I was starving, right? tiny balls. Massive cock, but I've got tiny balls. It's weird. You'd think they'd go hand in hand, but they don't.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, so I... yeah, I got seafood last. So my starter last night.
Yeah.
So you'd go to Nando's.
Let me ask you this: did you dress up for this?
No, I was dressed in almost exactly what I've got on now.
Right.
Trainers, jeans. I had this jacket on and a different hoodie under.
Right.
Yeah,
Now, that's a weird move to go for a classy meal.
I think
alone.
it's
It's
sort
weirder
of,
to dress up.
I think it's a
by yourself.
baller move though.
Right.
It's like, I'm
Yeah.
fucking good enough to warrant
Right.
being your customer,
Yeah.
even in me fucking trackie.
Right. So what's your starter?
For me starter, I had an entire charcuterie board to myself.
Now, even that, I don't even know what a charcuterie. I won't
It's
entertain a
cured
charcuterie
meats.
board.
So it's like parma ham, chorizo, salami. You get a few pickles, few olives, and a bit of bread, sourdough.
Right. Means?
I got hake
Yeah.
with brown shrimp and garlic roasted potatoes.
Now, obviously, I have a very defined accent, but when you said hake, that's very Scottish.
Hake, yeah. Hake's a fish.
No, I love fish. And then what do you have for your dessert?
Wine gums.
I don't know. Like
I had a chocolate brownie.
I don't mind going out and eating by myself, but I'm in and out. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I relish it, mate.
I can picture you with the big napkin tucked in at the.
You're calling me a fucking moron. You look like you spill food on yourself, Adam.
No.
Like regularly.
You know when you just
You look like you don't trust yourself with sauces. What the fuck was that?
You know when you just flap a big napkin out and get it tucked in. Actually, with a napkin on the neck and the lap.
No, I was dragged up, mate. I've got no manners. If I get stuff on my shirt, I've just got stuff on my shirt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I hold my knife and fork in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
Like I have a fork in my dominant hand.
Right.
You know it's meant to be the other way around.
Yeah.
So I have my fork in this and my knife in here. And apparently that's wrong, but it fucking isn't, is it?
So you have knife in your left hand?
Yeah.
Oh no, that just don't feel right to me. Are you left-handed?
No.
You need to go and see someone.
No, I don't.
You do.
No. What do you use more when you're eating the fork or the knife?
The knife?
What are you talking about? You're not not when you're cooking. When you're chefing, of course, you have your knife in his hand.
Yeah.
But when you're eating,
Yeah.
when you're in Nando's,
Use your
what is
fork
the
more.
yeah? So
Yeah.
you want that in the hand that you know what to. I don't. This. I feel like most of the time this is controlled by somebody else. I can't do anything with this. Have you ever tried to wank with your non-dominant hand? Have you ever tried to wank with your left hand?
No.
It's like a girlfriend doing it, but for the first time.
Right.
You know when she doesn't know what you like yet. You know when someone tries to play FIFA and they don't know the buttons.
Me.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, they've seen other people do it and they think they know what's going on, but they don't really.
Yeah.
They're crossing instead of shooting.
Yeah.
They're one-on-one with the goalkeeper that's going out for a throw-in.
Yeah. I'm brutal. Not giving someone a wank for the first time. Play FIFA.
Yeah.
I need to ask your advice on some things. Not cutlery or anything like that. We're doing a comedians charity boxing event at the Ulster Hall.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Good charity on board. Going to be a good night. You did this, you and a load of other comedians, years ago?
Yeah.
What, like 10 years ago?
More? No, it was 2016.
Yeah.
7 years ago. Fucking hell. I didn't realise it was that long, but yeah.
How seriously did you take it?
Well, I fought Elliot Steele.
Yeah.
Do you know Elliot?
Yes. I know of him. I've never met him.
So Elliot is a really good mate of mine. I've known him since he was 17.
He's very funny.
He's also a shithouse little cunt.
Right.
So, when they were putting it together, I hadn't seen Elliot for about 18 months, maybe 2 years.
Right.
And I had a 17-year-old in my head. Right?
Careful.
I had 17-year-old Elliot Steele in my head.
Yeah, not better.
I was trying to improve it. So he was there, and I was like, I can't fight him because I'll kill him.
Right.
Because he was about my height, maybe a bit taller, and very, very, very slight, very slim.
Yeah.
I said, I'll kill him. They were like, look, the ref's not going to let you kill him. Like, just, he wants to fight you. It's the only person we can really match you up with. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, okay.
So I think you'd be like me in that respect. As soon as you hear stuff like that, you go, well, I need to train or anything.
Yeah.
As soon as people are like, hey, go easy on him, you go, okay, I've won this fight.
yeah.
Feet up.
So I texted Elliot and I was like, you going to do any training? He's like, oh, I can't be asked. You know what I'm like? I'm a bit of a stoner. I can't really be fucked. Like, I go to the gym and that, but whatever. So I was like, do you know what? I'll lose 2 stone. It'll be a bit fitter.
How long of a run-up time do you have for this, roughly?
Like 4 or 5 months.
Oh, right, okay.
So I was like, I'll drop 2 stone. I'll feel a bit better and quicker, and it'll level the weight out.
Yeah.
I did 1 training session. I did a pad session with Paul Smith, the comedian, not the boxer.
I did a full camp with Floyd Mayweather, not the boxer, just a guy.
Yeah.
Works at the Legislature.
I did 1 pad session because I was like, I need to know how to throw a punch.
Right.
The day before the event, Elliot Steele dropped a video on Facebook and tagged me in it. And he'd been training for 4 months with Duke McKenzie, who was a 3-weight world champion.
So I'd never heard of him, but Duke McKenzie sounds like a hard bastard.
3-weight. He's the only British 3-weight world champion of all time. He's the only man to ever do it.
Right.
And he'd been training with him for 4 months. And he'd had a growth spurt of another 6 inches. So I was expecting, like, Mowgli from the Jungle Book.
Right.
And in reality, it was Amir Khan.
Yeah. Shere Khan.
Sure. He turned up and I was like, you're right, lad. He wouldn't even look at me. And then I got angry.
Right.
He knocked me down in the first round. I knocked him down in the second round. And then in the third round, I couldn't move my right arm because I'd burst all the blood vessels in my right arm.
Because you're keeping your knife in it.
What?
Because you're keeping your knife in it. So, how many people were at that fight?
400.
And what was it like?
800. 800.
What was the experience like compared to what you thought it would be?
It was the best thing I've ever done, even to this day.
Were the nerves similar to nerves for stand-up or different?
Because he pissed me off so much, I was just angry, so I didn't feel the nerves.
Right.
My heart didn't stop racing for about an hour afterwards, though.
Yeah.
I thought I was having a heart attack.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
not like anything you've done before.
Yeah, I'm so out of my comfort zone with it, but I love it. Like, it's
Who are you fighting?
Guy called Johnny Bow. You'd never have heard of him.
Right.
Trust me.
Is he a fighter or a comedian?
Neither. He does stand up. No,
Okay.
he's stand up and he's very good. He's a mate of mine, and that's why it's good that we're friends. You know what I mean? Because no one wants to hurt anybody else, but like we want to have a good fight.
Yeah.
But we are both taking it way more seriously than we say we are.
I wanted to kill Elliot.
Right.
In that ring.
Yeah. Like dead.
Like if someone had whispered in my ear, like if it was like a film and it froze the frame,
yeah,
and like a little like guardian angel whispered in my ear, that punch you're about to throw will literally paralyse him for the rest of his life. Think about it before you throw it. I'd have still thrown it. Without even and with no remorse. Yeah. He had his dad there cheering him on. I'd have paralysed his son and looked at Mark and gone, that's what you get for raising a cunt.
Oh, I'm going to have to apologise.
But I love them both now.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I wanted to seriously hurt him.
Yeah. Because he mugged you, like.
Yeah.
Now, would you do something like that again?
It would have to be for a very good cause that I cared about.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
did with that one. So that was a
Yeah.
little kid who had cancer and needed to go to
I remember
America
that was
and
a phenomenal story, and like I remember watching that, and that probably planted the seed for us to do it that amount of years ago.
Yeah.
When you watch it, we're like, you're not just raising money for a great cause. You're having fun at the same time. It's like playing make believe in a way. Like we're boxers, you know what I mean? But I remember you got not a lot of shit for that, but I remember Chortle wrote an article.
Yeah.
That was basically like something about, you know, was it something to do with the fact that you weren't wearing shirts? Was it basically saying like, look at these guys thinking they're box?
I think
remember
I don't know who wrote it.
article.
I don't know whether Chortle's article was good or bad, but a couple of people were like, "Oh, this is just a vanity project for these comedians. They don't really care about the kid." And it was like, "Oh, well, fuck off.
Yeah.
You get off your ass and do something.
Yeah.
We're doing something because we've been asked to do it, and we want to be part of something amazing. You just got to ignore people like that.
Yeah.
Doing it again, like I say, it'd have to be for a good cause. But I also know already, they would make me fight either Dan or Carl.
Right. But what if it was like a UK?
I'll fight them both on the same night.
What if it was a UK comedy boxing night? I mean, you could be fighting anybody. You could be fighting James Acaster. Yep.
Oh, James, like, come on. Very talented comedian, but I would make mincemeat of the country, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I'm also going to do in the National Comedy Awards for Best Podcast. We're nominated, so are they. Go to votehaveaword.com and vote for Have a Word. Tea with me is not nominated, but it should be. It should be.
No, it's because I checked, obviously because we're in Northern Ireland, and then I checked the rules and we are eligible still, but I think there's an issue with that. We need a Northern Ireland category. I think something like, it's definitely fun. It's definitely something I've never done before, but I love it. I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm looking forward to being over because it's taking over my life.
Yeah.
I'm in New York next weekend for two or three nights, and I'm going to train out there. Like,
what are you going to New York for?
Going for one gig. Just going for a gig. But I never get the... Now, when you go trip, you're doing all spots and that kind of thing. But me and my wife were going, and I'm doing no other spots. Just doing this gig, having like an actual trip. Although it'll be difficult because you're in the best comedy city in the world.
I'm going to New York on my own in March for a week.
For dinner?
Just for dinner. I'm having an 8-course meal, but it's one a day.
You're in a Fila tracksuit in Nobu.
I like that. These are me Crocs. Where's this Michelin starred swat? Marco Pierre, what, mate?
Also, he's not fancy anymore.
No, he's not. He's in hotels now, isn't he?
Yeah, the hotel on tour I stayed at in Newcastle, which wasn't a fancy hotel. They had a Marco Pierre White restaurant, and it just looks sad.
But he doesn't work there, does he?
What?
He doesn't work at that one. Do you know what I mean? I ate this
Fuck
now.
off.
I ate this where Gordon Ramsay's got restaurants in every fucking city in the UK.
Airport.
Yeah, and it's like,
he works there?
But he doesn't work there, does he? He's just turned up somewhere and gone, yeah, put me fucking picture on the wall, gives 200 grand and I'll fuck off. You shouldn't, if you're a chef, you should not be allowed to put your name on a restaurant unless you are there 5 days a week as a minimum.
It's like us advertising a gig, and it's not us doing it.
Yeah.
But it's Adam Rowe's comedy show. Yeah. You're not on.
Yeah, if I'm not there, it's not my thing, is it?
But
Gordon Ramsay's Pizza Kitchen. The cunt has never been here. If you asked him, Gordon, have you got a restaurant in Liverpool? He'd go, I don't know. He wouldn't even know how to find it. What street's your Liverpool restaurant on? But his name's on the fucking door.
There used to be one in Place Las Americas in Tenerife, a Gordon Ramsay steak restaurant. And I nudged my dad. I was like, can you believe it? Gordon's making our dinner tonight. But he wasn't.
No,
just some Spanish guy.
It should be illegal. It's fucking bollocks.
So you're telling me in Heathrow Airport he didn't make my panini?
I'm telling you, it's very unlikely. I wasn't there.
You think they're ever stuck? They give him a ring. Gordon, our chefs.
I hate it. I think it's criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James Martin, he's at it too.
Who's that?
Is that right? He's like a Saturday or Sunday kitchen guy.
I don't know.
Never
even heard of him.
You'd know him to see. He's got a few, like in train stations in England. He'd have a wee pop up place. Does paninis and that kind of decent paninis.
Good.
He actually might be there cooking it. We need to talk about. By the way, in the boxing, right?
Yeah.
did you think, oh, did you work out in training what you were gonna do? But then when it came to the fight, did you just go?
I did one pad session, Shane.
Oh yeah, that's true. With comedian Paul Smith.
Yeah. So I was like, just punch him as hard as you can.
Right.
I got him with an uppercut in the second round and nearly killed him.
Right. I need to ask your advice on specials too. So this morning, I got to see like a draft of a special that I shot.
Yeah.
You just brought a special out, which what's a view count currently as it stands?
125k.
How often are you refreshing that? Have a look.
Every 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that's a lie. It's more often
Every
than
2.
that. I've just got a 2-hour train from Dublin and I've checked at least 6 times.
Did you film a load of different shows and then pick one, or was this like this?
No,
is
with
gonna be
this
the special?
one. So with the one that's just gone out, we filmed one. It
Right.
was just like, this is it. And luckily it was the best night of the tour. So
Have you had it before where I definitely have where you film something and go, this is going to be the thing, and then it's okay, but then the next night or something you do one and go, fuck, that was it.
I have done that before, but this was the last night of the tour as well. So there was
Right.
no more to do.
Yeah,
This is what we're...
And last night of the tour, you always have that like end of term energy,
Yeah.
where you're like, I'm still working, but
Yeah.
you know, this
It
is
was
finished.
great. It's come out really well. I'm really happy with it, and people seem to be really enjoying it.
Think what I like about it, and here's the thing, I watched it.
Did you?
I didn't skim it. I watched it, and what I like about it is, and what I always, with anything I would do like this, would want, is to feel like you're there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so sometimes with the sound, and you know, I know it's hard. This feels like you're in the audience. You know.
Yeah, the guys we
Your
had working
specific
on it,
laughs.
Will, who was the head of videography and essentially the director on it, and Martin Ellis, who did the audio mix, are just very, very talented. They're very good at making stand-up sound good, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
And was your plan with it always YouTube, put it out?
No, so it was Netflix. So I had an agent up until August, and then he had a career change, and I just decided to just not have an agent for a while.
What did he go into?
What?
What did he go into?
He's gone to be the head of podcasts at Global Radio.
I thought you were going to say like fishing or something.
Anything but working with Adam Rowe. So he got a meeting set up at Netflix, and they wanted to see it. They didn't commission it, but they were like, they gave us a figure that they'd be happy to pay for it if they liked the edit. But there was so many problems with the edit initially that I wasn't happy. Like, my dream for Have a Word as a podcast is to become a massive production company, and I want to be working with these streaming services. So I need my introduction to them as an exec and as a producer to be impressive, and I wasn't happy with the first few drafts of Imperious. It's great now, but I didn't want to tell them, oh, we're not showing you this, and then 3 months later go, oh, actually we will show you it.
Right.
So I just thought, you know what, put it on YouTube and recoup the losses on the next tour.
Yeah.
Also, like, Netflix is massive, but any paywall you put something behind takes viewers away.
Yeah.
Like, if you put it on Netflix, less people will see it than
Of course,
YouTube.
yeah.
It's still a big, big, big thing.
Yeah.
And I'd rather it be on there, and you'd rather get paid for your work than putting it out for free. But I think this was the right decision for this one.
Do you have that like dread or excitement with the fact that material's out there, it's burnt? Because that's what
I was so bored of it.
Because this to me is a collection of like a few, you know, like when you had shows that were postponed because of COVID, and then you ended up doing 2 hours together, close together, and that kind of thing. It's like a little bit of a mix what I'm going to put out, but it's just, it's not my backup stuff, but it's things that if I was going to a new place that I'd never played before, I'd drop some of this in.
Yeah.
But once it's out, can you do it
So
again?
I've still got that.
Right.
I've still got me backup bit.
Yeah.
It's a 10-minute bit about hangovers.
Right.
And I will do it tonight in Dublin.
Right.
I've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years.
Right.
It's the longest I've ever held on to any bit of material.
Yeah.
Imperious, I was done with. I was bored of. And then I started working on the next special, which goes out the end of February, called Juicy, in October. And I filmed that in January. That was just ready to go.
Where'd you film that?
Glasgow.
On purpose?
Yeah. Because
I suppose not by accident.
Who's staring like there's fucking cameras on?
Are we shooting a special?
Shot a special.
Where'd you shoot Imperious?
The Liverpool Philharmonic Hall.
Nice.
Glasgow. So Juicy, the next special, is one story that is inspired for legal reasons.
A 1 hour set?
Yeah, it's a 1 hour story.
Right, okay.
And it's inspired by a breakup.
By the way, that's incredibly ballsy to do that, because if they're not into the story 10 minutes in, they're not going to be into it.
Yeah.
55 minutes.
Just turn it off. If you're not into it 10 minutes in, it doesn't get it. Like,
no, I mean, doing it live.
Oh yeah. But I sort of because of what the story is,
right?
That I've completely made up with inspiration from real life. Mm-hmm. I knew people would be invested in it. Certainly my fans. So I think Juicy's. It's very, very different to Imperious, but I think it's better if you are a proper comedy fan. I think Imperious is a better introduction to me as a comic.
Get you, yeah.
But if you like me already and you were picking one to watch, I think you'd pick Juicy. You're
going to do the same with that YouTube?
Yeah, that'll go out the 24th of February on youtube.com/haveawordpod. And then this week, because I've got rid of all the Juicy jokes and all the Imperious jokes, I've literally just been starting from scratch in Liverpool. Did a couple of nights in a basement that holds 70 people. Did like 40 minutes each night of new stuff.
I'm at that point too with the new set.
It's my favourite part of putting an hour together is the first month, 2 months.
Yeah.
Where you go on stage and you're like, I don't know if any of this works.
Yeah.
There's no backup. I won't do me backup stuff in a show like that.
Yes, yeah.
And the other night there's a concept bit. So they're my favourite type of things to do. Here's the idea, here's all the jokes.
What do you mean a concept bit, like visuals?
No, like... You know, with stand-up, you can have a story or a one-liner, or a concept bit to me is, here's an idea I need you all to get on board with.
Oh, okay.
Even if it's not a nice one, and now I'll convince you, and here's the jokes for it.
Right.
And there's a concept that it half worked, but I'm not confident in it yet, and I know this is going to be like the centerpiece of the next tour.
Right.
It's about me fantasizing about being a better person than I am.
Right.
Like, I'm a better person in my head than I am in real life.
Yeah.
And I just know it's going to work.
And is that a real bit? You think you're a better person in your head than you are in real life?
Possibly. No, I don't know. How do I answer that? Because I'm in my head.
Yeah, so you would know.
I don't know.
I'm not going to know.
I genuinely
well, yeah,
don't know.
Other people would know. You're right, but they would
also,
have to know
with
you
comedy,
well.
I don't care if I agree with the bit.
Right, okay. Yeah.
I've said before, I like to treat comedy like I'm a lawyer. And me bit is like me client. And I don't care if he's guilty, I've just got to get him off.
Right, okay. That's mental. I've never heard that.
Do you know what I mean, though? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Like, it's not in my interest if this bit is real or makes sense.
Your bit might be a nonce.
Yeah, yeah, it might be a murderous paedophile, rapist, jewel thief. Right. But if I can convince...
I feel like I'm not mad at him for being a jewel thief. Hey, what?
If I can convince the audience who are the jury that he's innocent, then I've done my job.
Right, I totally understand that. I genuinely do. I like that. I love with new material that you kind of waffle a little bit. Like we're probably somewhere in that you don't have a word for word thing, and especially when you're fucking about with it. Like last night, I did a gig here in Hollywood, and I never gig in my hometown. Now it's not like Liverpool in that it's not a city with comedy clubs. There's no gigs here. My mates just kind of started one. I filled in for somebody last night and did like a drop-in set, and I was like giddy and a bit nervous about it, and I just came up with a bit during it, like a quick add-in bit, and then I kind of started to expand on it, and now I'm going, that is like the bit I'm most excited about now.
Yeah.
Like there's
nothing better than a new bit getting something.
Yeah.
Like, I had that the other night at the basement gig with a bit I tried years ago and couldn't get it off. And then it come up with the crowd work and I got it off and I was like, oh, I've just found a bit that I couldn't get to work 2 years ago that I now know how to get it to work.
Did you get it to walk free there and then, or was there a suspended sentence or anything for it?
The jury's out, do you know what I mean? But like, I've got me mate going, I think you've got jurors 1 to 8 on this. The other 4 still need convincing.
So as much as like when you put a special out or fucking anything, put a clip out or anything, of course, you know, you're checking how it's doing, like everybody does that. But the comment section, anything wild in there, or has it all been fairly like when I looked, obviously it's massively positive, and I think the great thing about your special is it's just funny. You know what I mean? Like it's
not preachy or anything like that, but
no.
Yeah, I don't mind a comment where it's like, this guy's fucking shit.
Right.
Because I'm like, well, that guy's having a bad day. Yeah. And cool, enough people. The comments that annoy me are like the neutral ones. It's the same as like 3-star reviews.
Or feedback.
Like, what are you doing?
Right.
I didn't really enjoy this as much as I thought I would.
You could have.
Who was that for?
Yeah.
What's that? You've got none of your anger out from your sad, pathetic little life, and I don't get a compliment. So what was that for?
Yeah.
This was all right. What are you doing?
You want a positive or negative? You don't like
One
that
said there's a lot of pauses here while he's waiting for the audience to finish laughing. Yeah. Because they need to hear the next bit, you silly twat. Oh my God. I can't read the comment section because even positive ones end up doing me head in.
Right. What's something after filming the special, cutting it, putting it out, seeing the reaction to it, promoting it? What's a good bit of advice you give me with putting a special out there? What's something like you learned through the process, maybe you didn't think of before?
Cut any racism out. Like
it's
if you did any
with a lot of material.
Any anti-Semitism,
cut
that out. Any racism against like the Asians, black people, I just don't think you should be putting that on the internet.
Other groups that it's okay.
Anyone else is fine.
So if I'm going hard against the Dutch, that's all good.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't.
They won't even understand you taking the piss out of them.
Yeah.
Dutch people are stupid. I hear saying bad things about us, but I don't know why. He's never even met me. That's what they'll say.
I was saying, you've spent long enough in Dublin, you've picked up the accent.
He's never even met me, but he's calling me a prick. It's weird. I don't get it. But okay.
But Jesus, I'm over here in Amsterdam. Have you ever done a show in Amsterdam?
No, but I think I might do in September.
Really good.
I've
never done a solo show. I've just done spots at clubs.
I'm doing some stuff. So the Live Nation are promoting my tour, and they've got some little festivals they're doing in September, and I'm doing all of them.
Right.
I don't know where they are yet. I just know they're in Europe, and to book the dates off, they're just going to fly me to wherever I need to be. Do
you know what I like doing now? This kind of in between, having just done the last tour, new tour doesn't start till like September. I like just doing silly things in terms of shows. So I would like to do. There's some European cities I would like to do very small gigs, and just kind of it's half a trip, it's half work, just quick in and out trips.
That's very me. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's where I'd like to go. Rome.
Yeah.
Lisbon.
Yeah.
Madrid.
Hang on, can I just pull you up on something?
Yes.
With Rome, you did it in your voice. With Madrid, you did that in your voice.
Yep.
But Lisbon, is that a bit of peri sauce on? You know what I mean? Like,
what did I say, Lisbon?
You said Lisbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you didn't go, Rome.
Here's why. We have a city called Lisbon, so I'm trying to really set that out for people.
Yeah.
Not Lisbon.
Yeah.
Lisbon. I want to do.
Now you just sound like Mike Tyson saying it. Like, just say Lisbon.
Yeah.
Because it's not Lisbon.
Yeah.
It's Lisbon.
Lisbon. That's what it is, Lisbon. I want to do Paris, Amsterdam, Lisbon, Madrid, Barcelona, and Amsterdam. Do 6 cities.
I can't book European stuff in, and I wanted to do something very similar to what you're talking about. Me and Alfie Brown were going to do it as a double header.
Yep.
But I can't do it because I'm going to do those European festivals.
Do it with me instead. It'll be different people.
It would be as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Me and you go travelling around Europe.
Yeah. And here's a good thing. We pass each other in the bar. Me on my way out and you on your way in. After the show.
Yeah, you can go first every night and finish at 10. And I'll start at 10 past 10.
I'll have my cordial. You know what cordial is?
Yeah.
Do you have that? Just there's different dilutant or... I don't think you just don't have it. I just don't know if you use that word because that's cordial. The thing in the world and all different
words. I call it cordial now. When I was a kid, we just call it juice.
Yeah.
I have juice because like actual juice was like for Tories, you know what I mean? That was like for millionaires and like the elites.
What, Capri Sun?
No, that's not juice, is it?
What is juice?
That's cordial, really.
Right.
That's just premixed cordial Capri Sun.
So what's juice?
Like fresh orange.
Oh, yeah.
That's for like
they love that.
Kings and queens and the aristocrats. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Juice for me was Ribena.
Right. My what?
Ribena's a lie. Kia ora. Do you remember Kia ora?
She sings "Let Me Love You."
You thinking of Rita Ora?
Oh yes.
Kia ora, the orange one with the racially insensitive characters on the phone.
That's right.
Remember?
That's right. Don't even get me started on Umbongo.
I won't.
Yeah. I didn't even drink it in the Congo. Can't remember how I got on this. Yeah. Ditch Alfie Brown. Let's do these shows. After the show, I go order small drink. Then I order your Guinness. And then I leave. So you walk in, it's settled, it's sitting there.
Perfect.
I'm
game for this.
We could tie in a football match.
Yeah.
We could go see Sporting Lisbon. Or Benfica.
Or the Spanish one.
Like Real Madrid or Barcelona. And
Can we add in some wild ones?
No.
Why? Can we not just add in like places where comedy, seems like Madrid? You've named all the fancy cities there. Can we not go to fucking like a Polish city that isn't the one that we all know? Not Warsaw, not Krakow. Just some shithole in Poland.
Right.
And just try it there. Imagine how happy they'd be.
How well do you think we draw somewhere like that? In Gdansk? Is that in Poland? It is?
But let's just find out.
Right.
Why would we draw any less there than Madrid?
Oh, there's loads of Irish people. There's loads of... I was about to say expats.
Oh, I don't want to perform to them. Right. I want to perform to locals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
There'll be no Irish, no Scouse.
We'll learn Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch.
No. They will learn it for us.
Here, can I listen to this for such a I don't know whether it's a privilege or entitled thing. I want to do this, right? So I want to do a double header, right? And we should talk about it. I want to do some European shows. And I followed a comedy club in Barcelona and went on to see some of their clips and see what the venue's like and watch some of their local comedians. Sitting watching it. You're not really paying attention, but you kind of are. And I was like, these guys are fucking brutal, man. These guys are shit. And then I realised I don't understand what they're saying. But I was just watching them being like, nah, it's not making me laugh. But of course it wasn't, because I didn't understand.
Because they were speaking Spanish.
Yeah, I didn't understand any of what they were saying. And I'm judging them being like, this guy's brutal.
What's he even on about?
Yeah. I've done Paris a couple of times. It's great. I know a venue there holds about 100. Could be really nice.
I think I'm doing Paris as part of that little tour, but yeah.
You're not doing that there anymore. But it'll be what's the best way to say this? That's like you're going to a party.
Yeah.
But we could be going to another party across town with different people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. This
is Tiger. You're going Pop World.
I'm game for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we go to Amsterdam,
you're gonna get on the pot.
Yes, but we set aside designated time for it.
Okay.
Let's not have it too close to the gig. Let's not go crazy. Let's microdose. I will have it, but I
had pot for the first time last week.
Really?
So I thought I'd had pot before.
Okay.
Turns out I hadn't.
Why did you think you'd had it before?
Because I'd put weed in my mouth and tried to smoke it and failed. But I didn't know
that was your technique of...
Right, here's the thing. So when I was growing up,
yeah,
drugs weren't a part of my life. I mean, mum hated drugs. Right. Very anti-drugs, right? So I got to sort of 18, 20, hadn't tried it at all.
Yeah.
And then I was at the Edinburgh Fringe and I'm hanging out with people who smoke it. Kai, Humphreys, Daniel Sloss.
Oh, you're naming them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They love a bit of pot.
Yeah.
They're the pot men. Kai and Sloss, the flower pot men. That's what people call them.
Yeah.
Right? I'm at a house party, someone hands me a joint, and I'm like, yeah, I'll have a bit.
Yep.
But I don't want to say to anyone, as a 25-year-old man, how do I pot? Right?
Yeah, but that's snooker. That's not the terminology.
How do I ganja then? Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? See, I still haven't learned.
Yeah.
So I just...
Right.
I didn't know you meant to take a second breathe in. Yeah?
Yeah. And do you know what you probably do what I would do? You've wet the butt.
Yeah. I suck it off. Right?
You suck the butt?
Yeah. I'm sucking butt daily, mate. Right? So, we're in Amsterdam last week. Mm-hmm. Finn, who's our producer of the podcast, is a pot man. You know?
Yeah.
So, he watches me have a pot.
No, sorry, you're in the coffee shop doing this, or you're walking about?
Yeah,
right, you're
in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And there's a big, like, volcano balloon of it and also a joint. So I have a go of the joint.
Yeah.
And Finn goes, that's not, you fucking weed, man. That's not, we don't weed like that.
Right. You come across as such like an undercover cop. Come on, that's not how you weed. They'd be like, this guy's definitely undercover. This guy's definitely a teacher.
So he goes to me, what you need to do is inhale and then take a second inhale.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it.
Yeah.
So I did that twice on the joint and then twice on the fucking balloon thing.
Right.
And so in the past when I've done Sweet Mary, right? Jane.
Shane.
I've been like, oh, weed doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
I'm immune to pot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I was sat there for about 20 minutes last week and everyone else was a bit fucked. 20 minutes might be an exaggeration, but everyone's fucked and I'm like, it hasn't affected me at all. I'm going to have another go.
Yeah.
And as I reached for it, have you ever been on a roller coaster and it stops? And you go, fuck off. That happened. And then I didn't stop laughing for 4 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is not an exaggeration. For 4 hours, I was screaming, laughing. Apparently, at one point, I was trying to tell people I don't know how my hands work. Like, how am I telling my hand to pick this bottle up? I was in a Chinese restaurant, and you know the fellow who goes around with a little trolley collecting all the plates? Yeah. I was screaming, that cunt's got the greatest job in the world. And I only like half remember it.
I had a very, very similar experience in Amsterdam where so I had a brownie. I tried that where I had a little bit of it. 20 minutes goes by. I was like, well, yeah, drugs don't work for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Call me Richard Ashcroft. I was like, this has no effect on me. Clearly, I'm a cool guy. And then about 50 minutes went by. I was like, let's get out of here. This scene's whack. This drug scene. Fuck these guys. And walked out and started to like see things that were making me like giggly. You know what I mean? Like real giggly. But then obviously like, yes, got the giggles, all that kind of thing. Got back to the hotel. This was say 3 p.m. in the day. At 7 o'clock, PSG were playing Barcelona.
Yeah.
In my head, it was 4 a.m. We'd been out all day. We get back, I turn on the TV, they're playing the match. I'm like, I wasn't upset, but I couldn't stop myself crying. And I said, why are they playing this so late? And it fucked with my head, like so bad. I thought something had happened in the stadium or whatever. So they'd had to like have like a 12-hour delay, and I couldn't get my head around it. But it was brilliant fun. Like I loved it, and I think it's such a novelty.
I had a really good time, and I'm in no rush to do it again until I'm back in the dam.
Yeah,
because you know when in Rome.
Yeah.
When
we're not doing that in Rome.
Yeah.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Well, I've been in Rome once, and we went to see the Three Tenors. Right, so it's advertised the Three Tenors, and I was like, "Fucking right." It was in an old church, you know, like Pavarotti type guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like 3 Card Monty. I thought 3 tenors was a way to do 3 Card Monty. Like,
no.
Right.
No, I mean like these are like proper like Nessun Dorma singer guys, and
they're proper like what?
Nessun Dorma like singer guys. Like operatic singers.
Oh! Right.
Was that you doing some of it?
Them ones.
Right, so
the ones who smash the audition stage of Britain's Got Talent, but you never see them again.
Yeah, because they can't do anything other than one song really well.
Yeah,
and they try and do like a pop type song in opera, and you're like, that's weird. Don't do that.
Come on, Britain's Got Talent to get the golden buzzer.
Paul
like,
Potts,
and then they
R.I.P.
Yeah,
not Paul Pot.
Yeah, sorry.
He's also a great singer. So in Rome we go see. It's advertised all on like TripAdvisor. Go see the Three Tenors, proper operatic singing in an old church in Rome. Unbelievable. These guys were shit. Like they were. I don't know who couldn't make it that night, but these 3 fellas were just awful.
Was it actually the 3 tenors though?
Well, here's the thing. It's a bit like the Sugar Babes. the lineup has changed that many times that it could be anybody.
No, this is the Gordon Ramsay of singing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, bollocks. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't call it the three tenors if Pavo's not there, mate.
Well, he definitely can't be there, right?
Why?
He's dead.
Is he?
Oh, that overweight, old, fat Italian guy. Yeah, he died.
When did he go? Did he go 2016 with Prince and everyone else?
Oh no, he died like 2000, something like that.
Fuck off!
Yeah. Some people think he does the Sly Guy podcast, but that is Dave Elliott. 2007. Fair play to get that lot, because like he wasn't taking care of him. Like Pavarotti was like sitting down, pints, dinners by himself.
Sounds like he had a really good life, Shane.
I did not think he got to 2007. That's wild. But yeah, we went to that and it was shit. But I like Rome, was really nice. Trevi Fountain, all that stuff.
Yeah, I've never been to anywhere in Italy.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go in September. So I've got 3 weeks of tour in September. My actual tour kicks off in October.
We're going to do
a
these
week
shows
off
in
in
April.
September.
We're going to do these shows in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in Nashville in April, but
no.
Either side. Either side of that.
Yeah. How long are you going for? 10 days?
8 days.
8 days. Okay. I'm doing Australia at some point. I think it's not confirmed, but can I be honest? I'm doing Australia in 10 days.
Yeah.
Like a 10-day trip.
Okay.
To the point where they were like, "Oh yeah, it's a month and a half." I went, "It's not. It's 10 days. I don't need to see anything. I don't need to do anything. I just want to go over, do the shows."
I think you might be my spirit animal, You
think so?
Because when I'm in like Dublin last night,
Yep.
I feel like tomorrow I'm going to the Guinness storehouse where they make the Guinness.
Yep.
In the morning. I'm
Right.
having a pint of Guinness at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then I'm going to the Gaelic football game.
Right.
Dublin are playing.
Awful.
They're playing, right? I'm going because I feel like I should.
Yep.
Do you know what I'd love to do? When I'm in a city, I feel like I've got to go and see it. I feel like I've got to. What I want to do is sit on the bed on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. But like have the window open so you can hear the sounds of the city.
Yeah.
I mean, you're watching Netflix, but
yeah, like just
occasionally
a little
you'll get
crackle of like sick.
Yeah.
I'm in Dublin.
Yes. I know that guy as well.
But I just want to be left alone in a different city. But I feel like I'm wasting my life.
The older you get, the more you always have a thing when you're younger. Oh, I need to do this. People go to this thing and do this. But it's beautiful when you just start to slowly go, but I don't.
Yeah.
I sit in the bath.
Yeah.
And eat Percy
I
Pigs.
love a bath,
Baths are great.
I got myself a Chandler Bing themed rubber duck last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I had we're going to have lunch here, but I had this like moment of, don't know whether it's clarity, but like a moment. I don't know if you do this as well, but look at you just did the Echo Arena in Liverpool.
Yeah.
With the podcast.
Yeah.
By the way, also, I know we are kind of pushed for time, but give me, because we're doing SSE with the podcast, so give me a bit of advice for doing the podcast. Because
make it a big show. Don't be sat around just doing this.
Yeah.
This is great for a podcast. You can't do that in front of thousands of people. I don't think.
Yeah.
So we did me and Dan did stand up, break, did a bit of a podcast section, then we did a Bollywood dance routine, then we did another podcast section.
Yeah.
And then we hired the band 5.
That's right. I didn't know whether, I thought that was some comedians doing 5, and then I realised
we got 3 of 5.
Now,
and then I got to be one of the other ones.
I don't need the exact figure, but were 5 dearer or cheaper than you thought they were going to be?
We got them cheaper than they wanted it to be because we know a guy.
Right. Abs.
Who they owe money to. Well, sorry, 5, but our first choice was Bewitched.
Right, okay.
We wanted Bewitched.
Right, and how come
they wanted 15 grand for one song.
It's a stalemate. What song are they going to do?
What song? It's an album track from their 3rd album. Yeah. So I just love it. I forget the name of it.
Imagine, like, for C'est La Vie, it's 200 grand, but we'll do a song for 15 grand.
5 was better, though, in the end, because they did a mega mix.
Oh, yeah, I love a mega mix.
I think they did 3 or 4 songs.
But what I'm saying is with doing that, with the special out, and we'll link to the special in the bio, right? But people know how to find specials nowadays. Don't they type in Adam Rowe Imperious and they see it. With every and probably since, I feel like since COVID and all that, it's been like a hamster wheel, but a good hamster wheel of just constantly doing stuff and not much break. And look at your Patreon number is bigger than the population of Lisbon. Right, you've got fucking 700,000 patrons. But do you ever take a moment to go, look at all this stuff?
A moment. It's like 3 seconds every 4 weeks. I go, oh, it's sick that. Anyway, what are we doing next?
I have my moment this week, and it was a piece of music. It was Keep On Moving by Five. It wasn't. It was a piece of music. So I was putting my son to bed, and one of the things it says to do in this new sleep routine we're doing is dim the lights and get like a real relaxing atmosphere going. So I just like shuffled some playlist on Spotify, and this song came on, and it's called Benedictus by a guy called Carl Jenkins, who I mistakenly at the start thought it was former Arsenal right back, Carl Jenkinson. And I listened to this bit of music, and everything started to go like, whoa. I was like, think about all the great things that have happened in the last couple of years. The gigs, the shows, the podcast, all that kind of thing.
The early death of a lot of elderly people. They were in the way.
Yeah, and they kind of that came and went pretty quick. And then I was thinking more about the shows and all that kind of not COVID. I just mean like how things are going and getting to do these like arena shows and support some comedians that you really like and all that kind of thing. And that bit of music, I just really so I listened to it, and then after the baby was in bed, I put the headphones on and I just closed my eyes and let it wash over me. And you say you don't have that thought very, like the odd time you'll let yourself maybe think that?
I have that whenever I hear the Ketchup song. Remember that? I said
Last Ketchup?
You
let that wash. You let that.
Just
you get
I
in
like
the bath.
ketchup. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it makes me think of like nice food, and I'm like, oh, I get nice food because things are going well.
Right. Now, what I want to do is to finish this podcast. We won't be able to clear this for YouTube, but we'll edit it. I want to play a little bit of that music for you, and I want you to close your eyes. Don't worry, I'm not going to shave your head. And I want you to just take it all in. Just
so you know, I've got a problem with this eye, and it doesn't close all the way.
We're not having a sleepover.
Well, actually, the first time my mate fucked his missus, I was in the bed with them.
Okay.
So what had happened was we'd been on a night out.
Yeah.
And we went back to this girl's house, and my mate was with his missus, who he's now with, but this was the first time. And went for a party, but then her housemates were like, oh, I've got work in the morning, so can you all just fuck off? So they went, oh, you can stay here. So we stayed in the bed, and it was me, and then me mate next to me, and then his now girlfriend next to her, and then the other girl was at the end of the bed, you know, like the family pet.
Yes.
Right? And when I sleep, my left eye stays open.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, I had an operation. They took because I was born with a drooping left eyelid. So they took a muscle out my thigh and put it in my eyelid to try and hold it up.
Right.
It doesn't hold it up. What it does is keep it open. They fucked it. Right?
Sorry.
Right? So when I sleep like this.
Oh, no.
Right? Yeah. I had a sleepover in the garden once with my mates. We had a tent.
Oh, it's cool now.
And my mate thought I was dead and went and woke my mum up. And by the time that he'd woke my mum up, I was awake in the tent. And I heard him say to my mum, I think Adam's dead because his eyes open. And I heard my actual mother say, because you know when you're like tired and someone's woke you up and you're a bit fucking not your most generous self.
Yes.
She went, oh, don't worry about that. That's just his stupid fucking eye. But the time I was in bed with my mate and his missus, they start fooling around. And I think she had her hand on his cock and she's like, you know, going for it. And then she stopped and said to him, Carl, I think Adam's watching us. Because in her head, I was just like, yeah. This is great.
That's one thing for the European tour. We're going to have to get you glasses.
I sleep with an eye mask now.
I appreciate you coming on. Your special's fucking brilliant. All the sippers are going to go and watch it. I'm going to play to fade us out.
Do this.
Thank you. The episode's over, so we're just going to get the visual of you doing this. So here it is, okay? I'll just play a little bit of it for you. Right, so I want you to just... I don't know if I should talk during it, but... Think of all the shows. I'll fast forward a little bit. Oh. Close your eye. Echo Arena. Lisbon.
I feel like it's in a film and they're playing it at someone's funeral.
I think they do. So it probably shouldn't be a funeral because that makes me think of death. Anyway, let's go and get lunch. Cheers.
Thanks, on.